All right, we hope everybody enjoyed their meal and the 2024 highlight tape. It is time for us to get underway with our awards and recognitions. I've been doing this a long time with the radio, and there's a lot of things special about Friday night, especially, we get to the stadium early in the season, the lights are not on. The sun's still down on us, but boy, the excitement when the actual lights come on for Friday night football. It's about a collective group of people in the community getting together for one common event, and that's the excitement of high school football. There's so much that makes up the Friday night experience. The football game, seeing youngsters come in with their parents. They got a football in hand. They're going to get their buddies together, try to find a place to play a little game of tag football or throw the ball around. Maybe some of you guys did that when you were starting and coming to your first Scottsboro football games. And also it's about the excitement and what the Scottsboro cheerleaders bring to the night. We may not always be focused on them, but the role they play to me has always been an important role and a big influence in what takes place on Friday nights, whether it be home or whether it be on the road. At this time, we are going to have our cheerleader awards and recognitions, and we will ask Scottsboro High School cheerleader sponsor and assistant principal Paige Hodges to come up for those awards.
Thank you to everybody that's here tonight. As I look around the room, I was thinking earlier, to see the number of people that show up to support our kids is just amazing to me. I think about the support system that our children have and the people that work just tirelessly to make sure all of our kids have the absolute best of the best opportunities. It's a reminder of what a great community we live in. And I wouldn't trade my role here for anything because I truly do enjoy what we do and watching these kids live their best life, as I like to say. They're special, for sure. With that said, I want to thank some key people that help keep the cheer program moving. My assistant coaches, Meredith Belvin and Trent Williams, they're literally my left and right hands. I couldn't do what I do without them. When I'm covered up, they always keep it going and they make sure we don't miss a beat. And those Friday nights, oftentimes, the music that you hear and all the things that come along with what we do, they're the ones that make this happen. Anything tech related is always going to be Trent, that's for sure, not me. But I'm very thankful for their loyalty and their friendship and our relationship. This year's booster officers are Rachel Hardman, Dawn Allen, Corey Shelton, and Anna Rogers. I appreciate them more than words can say and all their hard work, all the things that they do to keep us again moving and what they provide for us in terms of being able to make money. The concession stand at basketball games, cheer has the luxury of running that, and if it weren't for those ladies, it wouldn't happen. So thank you. Your work doesn't go unnoticed. Quarterback Club, I can't say enough. They always ensure that cheer is included in every possible way. Bo Rogers, I can't tell you how many times we talked throughout the week, each week during football season, and it didn't matter what we needed. He made it happen. And Anna and Jana, and I mean, the list goes on, but Bo, you deserve a special thank you. And I do appreciate all of your work. Coach Van, I appreciate Coach Van more than he knows, and I appreciate the fact that he respects my program. He values and respects what we do, my kids, and he never fails to show that, and I appreciate you for that. I personally feel that ensuring that kids are a part of some kind of program is the greatest gift you can give them. They learn life lessons through athletics that can't be found anywhere else. I've been with these kiddos a long time. When I look out here and I see their faces, I see 4th, 5th, and 6th graders, and I always will. I love watching them do what they do. With that said, I'll begin my team introductions, and I will say my favorite moments throughout the years with my girls have always been watching them celebrate the good times and reaping the benefits of their hard work. This year's 2024-2025 varsity cheerleaders are Miss Blair Butler. Y'all come forward, please. Miss Ruby Cobb. Miss Ella Rose Hancock. Natalie Meir. Isabella Sauber. Lillian Hardman. And these are going in order by class, by the way. Those were my seniors, and now we're into our juniors. Miss Windsor Haston. Miss Bailey Hickson. Miss Julie Ray Hood. Am I going too fast? Miss Allie Clements. Miss Camber Dukes. Maddie McQuarrie could not be with us tonight. Miss Anna Claire Rogers. Miss Greenlee Taylor. Y'all can split that. Start right here, Camber, and you can split the podium, I guess. Miss Marley Tolliver. Miss Reese Whaley. Miss Jade Hardman. Miss Caroline Hodges. Miss Addison Lee. Miss Jalasia Lee. Miss Linda Rudder. Miss Austin Shelton. Miss Amelia Taman. Miss and mascot Mr. Talon Beasley. Miss Jade Hardman could not be here with us again tonight either. Thank you, girls, for all you do, and you definitely make Friday nights and basketball games a much more exciting environment, and we appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies, and as Ms. Hodges said, we appreciate what you bring to Scottsboro athletics. It's time now to begin football recognitions, and we will bring to the podium head coach and the only daddy of the area that we play football in. That would be Coach Tyler Van.
All right. I'm going to start with telling you how happy and blessed I am to be the head football coach at Scottsboro High School. I remember the last time I was in here was Banquet when I was assistant coach at Scottsboro, and it was actually set up over there, so me and my wife had to sit in front of everybody on that side with Coach Gilbert and our assistant coaches. And I remember watching Coach Jake stand up there and speak, and I said, you know, one day that I want that to be me, and I'm blessed and humbled with the opportunity I have not only to be the head football coach at Scottsboro, but be able to coach the guys that I coach, because with that, they make it what it is. It ain't you can put the name on it, but these guys make it fun. These guys are why I do it, and so I'm super excited to be here, and I think these guys started something special. I'm going to start out with some thank yous and recognitions. And if I forget someone, I've went through this a million times. And if I forget someone, I apologize. But I do appreciate everyone in this room, because if you're in here, you support either our cheer program or football program in Scottsboro in general, so I thank you. I'm going to start out with my wife, my son, my wife Hannah, and my son Cotton. They sacrifice a lot. I'm gone most of the fall. I stay at the field house, sometimes too long, probably. I stay there a lot of nights, and I can't ever cut it off throughout fall. I'm not in good mood some Saturdays. Some Saturdays we win and I'm in a really good mood, but I'm still watching film, and I find ways to find myself in a bad mood some way or another. But I am super thankful for what God's given me and my family. I also want to thank our coaches' wives in general. Our coaches, they also spend a lot of time up there on Sundays, probably sometimes a little too long, because Coach Van keeps us around. Sometimes we're not as productive as we need to be, because we're a bunch of guys that get along really well. And I'm super thankful for the guys, but I'm also thankful for their wives and their families and the time that they give up from their husbands to be up there to try to win some football games, and also create young men that can grow up and be husbands just like those guys. So secondly, I want to thank our players. They put a lot of time and effort into what they were able to accomplish this year. From January of last year in the weight room, I was super pleased with how much further we got throughout the year and how much weight we put on. Was we where we needed to be when we rode into Ramsey weight-wise? Probably not, but we was a lot closer than we was in January. And guys are continuing to work since the end of the season to try to get back to that spot, but also have our bodies and strength in a place where we can win those football games. But I've been super pleased and thankful for the guys' effort, their energy, their attitude, and the accountability they started to have in this program with each other. Accountability is the number one thing, and these guys learned it throughout, and they come every day with the right energy and effort and that stuff that they can control. And I've been super proud and thankful for those guys. Next, the coaching staff. I'm going to name each of them off and what positions they coach. A lot of you may know, some of you may not, and then I'm going to thank them. But offense coordinator and wide receivers coach was Austin Wilson. Running backs coach was DeForest Tolliver. Tight ends, Kevin McNorton. Offensive line, Zach Perkins. Offensive line analyst is what I have him down as. He was there when he could be, was Justin Lee. Defensive coordinator and linebackers, Chris Hammond. Safeties, Peyton Wilson. Defensive line, Tim Arnold. And special teams cornerbacks, Mac Malone. Those guys, I appreciate you. And, I'm only as good as the assistant coaches are. I'm not a very good head football coach, but those are a bunch of good assistants. And we're going to be a lot better next year as a staff. It's like I tell guys all the time. I tell the players all the time, I'm not what I need to be. I hope in year 2 at Scottsboro, I'm a lot better football coach than I was in year 1. I never stop getting better or try to get better. I'm learning and I'm studying, because I want to be the best just like they want to be the best. And the only way you do that is get better and continue to learn and go to clinics and talk to people, because I'm nowhere near where I need to be. And these coaches will say the same thing. We're learning on the fly, and I'm super proud and thankful to have the brotherhood and the guys we have in that coach's office. I'd like to thank our trainer, Preston Carlson. I don't know if he was able to make it tonight, but he does a really good job with our guys. He's there every day at practice, and I'm super thankful for how he interacts with our guys and keeps us healthy, and sometimes gives guys the hard news that you're just been a little soft, right? So thankful for Preston. Next, I want to thank our parents and the families. I appreciate what you do, allowing us to be around your kids and giving them away to us for a large part of the fall. And it's a huge responsibility for myself and these coaches to have these guys here. And I'm thankful to you for what you do in that manner and allow me to coach these guys as hard as I can coach them and try to make them the men they need to be. And I'm super thankful for your commitment to this program. And I'm thankful that you support these guys in this program in the way you do. So thank you, parents and family. Next, I want to thank our junior high staff. Head football coach Miles Keith, assistants Alex Carpenter, Zach Belvin, A.J. Petty. It starts in Little League, then it goes to junior high, and it's important that we have a good staff at all levels. And I'm super happy to have Miles Keith as the head football coach. He's shoot, he's been a head football coach at the varsity level, and it's good to have him there. And he got through in there on the fly late in the year when Coach Matt had to step down, and he did a really great job in the short amount of time he had to get things going. And I'm super excited about the direction of our junior high program as well. Next, I want to thank cheerleaders. Thank you for what you do for our guys, and I know you guys compete, you ladies compete and do things, but I'm thankful for what you do, pep rallies, game nights, signs you make, you get the crowd into it, you cheer for our guys. It don't go unnoticed by myself, the staff. You help create an atmosphere that's unbelievable in Trammell Stadium on Friday night. It's a special place. I've been a lot of places, and there's not been a place that I've been around that's had cheerleaders like we do here at Scottsboro. So super thankful for you ladies and the coaches. Band, dance line, same for you guys. I know there's probably not a lot here today, but I got to thank them because the band, and there's been a few games I've heard them really loud, and it's awesome to have that atmosphere. Again, like Coach Mack tells our guys every Friday when we have our team meeting there, he said it a few times, you guys probably remember, not everywhere is like Scottsboro. Like, you don't get the band, the dance line, the cheerleaders everywhere in Scottsboro. And we have people that take that for granted. I've been places that don't have any of it. And you take it for granted. In Scottsboro, you don't need to take it for granted. We have a special place at Trammell Stadium on Friday nights at 7 o'clock. It's special, and it's because of cheerleaders, band, and dance line. Next, I want to thank the school administration and staff. Special thanks to Mr. Tubbs, Ms. Hodges, Ms. Hester, Ms. Childers, and the Board of Education. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity. Also, thank you for supporting our football program and being there whenever I ask for something or whenever I need anything. I do appreciate your support. I also want to thank Mr. Zach Coe at the junior high. I know I've called him a few times this year as well, and he's also been really good to answer and communicate and help out in any way we need at the varsity when we're trying to build a program, whether it be with the weight room or whatever it may be. Mr. Holt's done a really good job of working with us and supporting us. Next, I want to thank all of our sponsors, people who donate to our program, parents who donate to our program. I know a lot of you probably buy 15 Wildcat cards. Thank you for your donation to Scottsboro High School when you do that as well. But I want to thank all the sponsors. If I sit here and went through all of them, we would be here longer than we've been here so far. It'd be a while. But I do want to thank everyone who supports our program, because we try to provide these guys with a great Friday night atmosphere. We try to provide these guys with as close to a Saturday experience as you can get in high school football. And we're starting to add things to the locker room now, weight room, and you're going to be able to see all those donations visible in the near future. You see them every Friday night when you see that scoreboard. You see them when you see these guys and the jerseys they're wearing, the helmets they're wearing, everything. Like, that's where your money's going, straight to them. It don't go to me, don't go to these coaches. It goes to these players who deserve it, and I appreciate everything that you do for our program. Next, I want to thank the Booster Club. First, I'm going to name them off, and then I'm going to tell you how important it is to have a really good Booster Club in whatever program that you're running. President, Bo Rogers. Vice President, Jenna Potterfield. Secretary, Tim McKenzie. Treasurer, Timpsha Coleman. And Junior High VP, Susan Harding. And there's so many other helpers. I know Susan's husband. I mean, there's so many other, Jeremy, there's so many other people that show up and help in the Booster Club. And I want to thank you guys. I want to thank you for all you do for us, the hours you put in. I can't tell you how many times Bo and Jenna's been up there late at night, anybody in the quarterback club, and doing things. I've been blessed. I've been at 3 places, and every place I've been, I've looked up and had really good presidents. And no different here. Bo Rogers has done a really good job supporting our football program. Anything I've asked, he does. He helps. I couldn't do what we've done this year without Bo, quarterback club, and all the people that sit in in front of me that's come up and helped on any Friday night, any Thursday night, Sunday, Monday. Like, you've done a lot for us, and I appreciate you. And as you know, Bo's put out, and Jana, that we don't have openings, and we're no longer going to have them with us, and they've been really good in just 1 year for me in this football program. So it's going to be tough to replace those guys, but it's very important that we do, and we need to replace them with workers that's going to do a really good job because it takes a lot. And but thank you guys for all you've done for Scottsboro football. Next, I want to thank Glenn Moore and his son Patrick. They do a lot for Coach Van and these coaches. I've been places where I'm in at Sylvania, Josh Turner, but I've been places that we don't have that. I remember also going back to when I was here before, I helped Gawk all the time. And so I know what he's about. I've actually worked with him side by side, doing all the stuff, and then being able to be in this position and have Gawk working. It's him and Patrick, like I can't get it all done in a day. By the time we get off the practice field, it's about to be dark, and Gawk's already got everything painted, the practice field. If I went over the list of the things he does, again, we'll be here a long time. But Gawk, I appreciate you and your son, your family, and everything that you do for Trammell Stadium and Coach Van and these kids. I know why you do it, and you do it for these guys, and I appreciate you, man. Next, I'd like to thank Shane White for running the scoreboard. That was huge for us this year with a new addition, and we do appreciate Shane and what he did for us. I also like to thank SoCo Catering, not only for catering tonight, but also for catering every Thursday night in the Black and Gold Room. So I'd like to thank them for that. Next, I'd like to thank Adam and Susie Stiles for fireworks every Friday night. That was new, enjoyed it, and hopefully they go off about 4 times a quarter next year. But I do appreciate that. I know it was a new addition to Trammell as well, and I enjoyed it, and I know these guys did. PA announcer Doug Wynn and spotter Jonathan Bell, thank you for what you do every Friday night. Scorekeeper Larry Scott, thank you again. Without you guys, without you guys, Friday nights don't happen. Next, I'd like to thank Chain Crew, Melton Potter, David Mormon, Brad Allen, and Steve Allred. Thank you for doing chains every Friday night. We don't have to hunt someone down to do them. Thank you guys for doing that every Friday night at home. Next, I'd like to thank the team chaplain. He wasn't able to be with us today. He's made a huge difference. I know just listening to him talk every Thursday has helped me and every Friday. And I know these guys appreciate Ian and everything he's brought to our football team. He talks to us still once a week. Before we go work out, he still comes and sees us and speaks to the team. And we looked up and got a really good team chaplain. And I look forward to what he's going to do through our guys throughout the next few years. Hopefully he's with us for 25, right? But I do appreciate Ian and everything he does. I'd like to thank the SRO, Lee Benson, driving every Friday night and doing the things that he does for our program. Parking workers, Jeremy Harding, Tim McKenzie, and Chief Harding, thank you guys. Again, we need every dime we can get, and that's another way to help our program. And I do appreciate you guys because I know you had to stand out there a long time before the game starts and get everything going. Appreciate you guys. Matt Leroy, if you saw all those videos, I know these guys couldn't wait for the videos to come out, and every week. And I know Matt does a lot for this football team and the video stuff, pictures, and I appreciate you, Matt, wherever you're at in the back right there. I do appreciate everything you've done for our program this year and getting our guys noticed and getting them out there, man. I appreciate you. Next, I'd like to thank Brent Miller and Michael Perkins as well. They took pictures. They was down there every Friday night as well. I know I saw them all over Facebook. I appreciate you guys, and that's also just another way for our guys to get noticed, and they deserve everything that they get, and I appreciate you. Again, everybody don't have that. Everybody don't get the luxury of having Matt Leroy taking videos, and everybody who takes pictures like that don't happen everywhere, so it's another luxury that we have at Scottsboro, and we don't need to take it for granted. Next, I'd like to thank WWIC, Greg Bell, Scott Matthews, Robbie Copenhaver, and Scott Parr, not only for what they did on Friday night and our Thursday night show, and then, every Wednesday, Greg comes in and we talk to get what he plays the pregame before the game starts, and we talk, and it's probably the interview lasts 10 minutes, but I bet we talk for 45, and sometimes bounce some stuff off of him, and he's able to help. Sometimes he bounces some stuff off of me, but I appreciate the time that we spend even on Wednesdays and everything that he does for for Scottsboro football. I also like to thank Southern Torch, Heath Loki, Justin Thrasher, and Shane McLemore for what they did on Thursday nights, as well as KC's Barbecue for hosting the show. And same with Heath and Justin and Shane. Enjoyed the time with them on Thursdays and enjoyed the friendship that I had with them as well. But we're lucky to have WWIC and Southern Torch. Some people don't even have a radio and that does anything with them. So I appreciate all those guys and everything that they do for our program. And if I left anyone out, I apologize. But I do want to do one last thank you. And if you're in here, I thank you and appreciate you for everything you've done for this football program. Don't go unnoticed by Coach Vann and these coaches and these players. So now I'd like to move forward with the awards. We're going to start with the ball boys. So, Gawk, if you'd come up. When I call your name, you just come up and stand, and then we'll give you a round of applause at the end. But I do want to thank you, ball boys, for everything you do. And every Friday night, I know Gawk uses you for a lot more than running balls in and out. You do a lot for Gawk and helping us on Friday nights. I appreciate you, and we're thankful for you. I'm going to start with William Moore, Eli Beatty, Hunter Wright, Seth Keith, Trent Keith, Bo Keith, the whole Keith family, Cason Corbin, Jackson Richardson, Tyler Talley, Jacqueline Lee, and Colin Malone. Again, thank you guys. Next, we'll give out, we're going to start with recognizing the entire football team with certificates. So, coaches, if you'd come forth. All right, guys, when you come up, we're going to start down there, fill up this way, and then once it's full, go that way. Please hold your applause till the end. It's 72 names, and I'm going to scoot through them. Trayshawn Austin, Justin Baker, Wynn Barkley, Holder Benson, Uriah Bettle, Storm Blankenship, Trey Blevins, Aaron Brandon, Antonio Brox, Luke Calfee, Grant Coleman, Isaac Cornelison, Rashad Dempsey, Jacoby Edmondson, Xavion Edwards, Esteban Fuego, Ty Fowler, Quincy Franklin, Alonzo Gallardo, Jaden Gilbert, Asher Gillian, Elisha Hambrick, Colton Harding, Cooper Harding, Tegan Harris, Jake Hastings, J.C. Heikkinen, Jaden Hill, Caden Holcomb, Braden Hyde, Jake Jones, Lawson Lee, Luke Lusk, Griffin Malone, Aiden Mashburn, JoJo Mashburn, Cade Mateo, Cash Mateo, Nick McKenzie, Theron Miles, Connell Moore, Roland Mosier, Griffin Murdoch, Tripp Nelson, Liam Perkins, Evan Patrisky, Brian Phelps, Dylan Phillips, Trayvon Phillips, John Will Potterfield, David Potts, Cole Reich, Colton Ricard, Oakley Robertson, Colin Rogers, Eric Rule, Peyton Rule, Tyler Shelton, Zay Simpson, Ladarius Smith, Aiden Steele, Braden Talley, Lawson Talley, Cohen Thompson, Noah Tollison, J.T. Tolliver, Connor Vaden, Garrett Venable, Griffin Webb, Cole White, Eli Worthy, David Zavala. Filmer's next. Here we go. You want to have a seat? I'm going to talk about you in a minute. Talk about you 4 times. Next, I want to introduce our filmers, and they do a lot for us. Eli, go ahead and come up. Eli Schrader and Gracie Coley, if she's here. Eli, I'm going to put you on the spot. You can stand right there, my man. Eli Schroeder and Gracie, they do a lot for us, and Eli's actually there every day. And let me tell you, Eli, for one's brave. So the tower we all see at the practice field, Coach Van was like, man, I'm not putting him up there unless I climb up there. So I climbed up there, and I really didn't want to come back down. But Eli does it every day, and I appreciate what he does during practice Friday nights. I'm super happy that he's young, and we're going to have him a while. Thanks, Eli. All right, the next 7 or 8 awards will be coaches voted awards, and we're going to start with the Offensive Player of the Year. This guy was obviously a good football player, but he grew up a lot, and I got to see him, from a triple option to taking a snap every time 4.5 yards deep, and been able to help out in the pass game, but also be able to run the football. And I don't know in the future what the offense is going to look like. We'll probably be a little bit different next year. We'll probably have to spin it a good bit because we have a lot of receivers coming back. We're going to be athletic on the outside. We're going to throw it around, but we threw it around some this year. But Jake also he could run the football, and we couldn't waste those legs. So he toted it a lot throughout the year. I'm going to read off his stats. He rushed this year for 1,717 yards. He had 24 touchdowns. He also threw the ball for over 1,000 yards, right at 1,100 yards. Threw for 7 touchdowns with a total TD count of 31, and his total yards were over 2,800. That's a really good year. I thought he should have been with some of our All-State guys, but I'm super proud to have Coach Jake Jones and proud of him. And your Offensive Player of the Year this year is Jake Jones. Next, I'm going to give out the Offensive Lineman of the Year. This was tough. It was a close vote, but we had to go down to the grades, and we looked back through all the grades, and there was one guy that graded out a lot higher. He was high every Friday night. He graded out really well. Did his assignment, pull, kick, pull, wrap, all the above, and he also played physical. And he's also having a really good wrestling year, and we hope he wins state, and that's Luke Calfee.
All right, I'm going to give out the defensive awards. We have a defensive MVP and a D lineman award. First of all, I'd like to say that I'm very thankful for this opportunity and that Coach Van, a big thank you to Coach Van for allowing me to be here and trusted in me to do the defense. It's been a blessing. There's no better place than Scottsboro, Alabama. Great people, great kids, great facilities, you name it. Defensively, I think over the year there, the opponents, we had a really tough schedule. The opponents averaged 33 points a game, and we allowed only 22 points. So 11 differential there. Held Fort Payne to 6 points, held North Jackson to 6 points. That was the lowest totals that they had all year. Held Mars Hill, the state champion, to 21 points, is averaging 43 points. That's the lowest that they was held to all year. So these awards, it kind of magnifies that when you see, I think, how well that these young men had performed. Defensive MVP, a couple of stats here. Had graded over 90% through the year, and that's this young man. He's where he needs to be. He does it how he's supposed to do it. Never complains. Plays with 100% effort. He had 81 tackles. He led our team. He had 2 forced fumbles. One of those huge fumbles, forced fumbles there in the Mars Hill game that led to a touchdown to help us to win that region championship. And had 1 forced fumble recovery and 1 interception. You know, not only is he a great football player, but what impresses me most about this young man is how good a young man he is. I don't know that I've ever heard him cuss. I don't think I've ever heard him talk bad about anybody. He shows up every day. He works hard. He does the things that he's supposed to do. He was the the quarterback of the defense. If I needed something done, I went to him and it was done. So, like I said, just an outstanding individual. Defensive MVP. He probably leads the team with most misspelled last name too, and pronounced number 27, J.C. Heikkinen. All right, defensive lineman of the year. 28 tackles, which is probably doesn't sound like much, but when you're in the trenches there, that's a lot of tackles. 3 tackles for a loss and 5 sacks. The defensive line, you don't get a lot of recognition, but you win and lose games up front, and you have to have the offensive line's trying to gain a couple yards, and we're trying to keep them from that's the trenches. And this young man, he is a technician. He does his job very well and has for several years. Again, he's another one of those young men that's as good off the field as he is on the field. Just a person in the weight room, a leader. Defensive lineman of the year, number 18, Tripp Nelson.
Okay, I'll be presenting the Special Teams Awards, and those 2 would be the Special Teams Player of the Year and Specialist of the Year. I'll start with Specialist of the Year. He can't be with us tonight. He's at a camp right now. The specialists are pretty much concentrated with people who are kicking the ball. You can divide it up a lot of different ways. In this particular case, outside of punting, Cole Reich did all of the kicking for us. Now people break it down into different categories with kickoff guy, punter, deep field goal guy, but he can do it all, and he will have to do it all for us this next go-round. He did a tremendous job. Kickoffs in the end zone, 68 of them. As far as 68 kickoffs, 28 of them touchbacks, 48 for 49 on extra points. And, early in the year, hit 2 big field goals for us that were really important. So this year's Specialist of the Year goes to Cole Wright. Okay, next, Special Teams Player of the Year. Special teams is something that a lot of people like to overlook, not think about until it burns you. Somewhere along the way in my coaching career, I had an opportunity. It was kind of forced on me, really, and I saw it as an opportunity to kind of have a little niche, and I really enjoyed it. I'm so thankful to be working with Coach Van. It's something that he makes a priority and pencils in time to work on it. And, it's up to me to organize and make sure I don't mess that up and get us as prepared as I can. And special teams is something that's it's not very easy. You're asked to do a lot of extra work and preparation mentally, extra physical preparation during the week. And a lot of times it's people who are already playing 50, 60 snaps in some capacity, whether it be on both sides of the ball or one side of the ball. You cover a lot of ground. It's very violent. And we had more than enough guys who were willing to do it. We could kind of pick and choose who we wanted, who we felt like we needed to sit versus use, but we had plenty of people who were aggressive and violent. What makes this award so special is that we did have so many people who did their job and did it at a high level. There's so much extra work that goes with it, and many players made big plays. And so for this player to stand out on top of that is really something special. This player had 3 block kicks this year and 8 tackles on kickoff. And so one even won the game for us. So this year's Special Teams Player of the Year is Ty Fowler.
All right. Next award is an award I really enjoy giving out every year. I've given it out everywhere I've been, named it different things. This year it's the Top Newcomer Award. This is a guy he may be young. He also may be a guy who just hadn't played a lot and then got through into a role and ended up doing really well. This year this guy was young. This player played really well for us. Only played in 7 games, started in 7 games, ended up 4th on the team in tackles and only played 7 games. So whoever the coach was that didn't play him the first 4, coach, I'm kidding. No, he got better at practice every week, and he actually won a spot in practice, and guys in front of him kind of grading a little lower, but he ended up earning a spot. And once he got on the field, you couldn't take him off the field. He made plays, and I'm super proud of him. He has a bright future in all 3 sports that he plays for Scottsboro High School, and he's Connor Baden. Next is the Wildcat Award, and this award goes to a guy who does whatever coach asks him to do, no matter the role. He's never too good for it. He never gets down in the dumps when he don't play enough. He never shows it and wears his feelings on his shoulder. He just goes and shows up in the weight room, at practice, in the facility with a mindset that I'm going to outwork whoever it is today, and I'm just going to keep working. And he actually ended up playing a lot more midways through the year. Towards the end of the year, had a big role. He's actually built for a nose versus wing T team. So if we played wing T teams every week, this guy would have probably played nose almost every week a lot. He was fast, played really hard all over the field. And I'm super proud to have known this young man. I'm super proud to know all these guys. But this one has a special spot because I watched him this year. He just works really hard. And I'm excited about his future and what he's going to do. And how he's going to represent Scottsboro High School, Scottsboro's community, wherever he goes, because he's going to do big things. And I'll put a quote on here because it reminds me of him. I went through online and I was reading through Vince Lombardi quotes because he's one of my favorite quoters out there. He does a really good job. He's had a lot of quotes that's really impacted me, and I chose this quote. And football is a great deal like life in that it teaches that work, sacrifice, perseverance, competitive drive, selflessness, and respect for authority is the price that each and every one of us must pay to achieve any goal that is worthwhile. Success is like anything worthwhile. It has a price. You have to pay the price to win, and you have to pay the price to get to the point where success is possible. Most important, you must pay that price to stay there. This guy's paid a price, and he's going to continue to pay the price every day to stay there. and his name's J.T. Tolliver. Next award's the Ronnie Thompson I'm Third Award. This award goes to a guy, and the quote here says, "God first, others second, self third, makes others around them better." And this guy, like when we brought it up in the coaches meeting when we were voting on these awards, it was unanimous, wasn't even close. So it wasn't because there wasn't a lot of guys for it. It's just this guy stood out to coaches every single day at practice, how he carried himself in the locker room, weight room, how he carried himself on the practice field. And he was a really good football player. He won MVP awards. And he's one of the top guys probably on campus, just in how he interacts with people and how he cares for people, regardless of what he's good at and what he's not good at. And that's rare. And I'm super proud to have coached this young man as well, because he definitely, no matter how good he is at something, puts others first. He's definitely a team guy. And that guy's J.C. Heikkinen. Next award is the Coach Larry Morris Legacy Award. And there was a quote that I read that he had said a few times, maybe many times, maybe every time before he went out and sent his team out to play. But it stuck with me, and it's probably something that I'm going to start saying all the time. But it says, "Give everything you have every single play for Scottsboro High School." And more than just this year, this guy's done it for 4 years. You can go back and watch film and see how hard he plays and how he leaves it on the line and how he represents Scottsboro. And he just wants to win a football game, and he wants to win it not only for himself but for his team, but for everybody in the community. And he's definitely gave everything he has to this football team and how he works. And, he's played through injuries that people don't know about, and even in the community, every Friday night, guys are playing through injuries that nobody knows about because we really don't want them out and or talked about. But these guys play hurt all the time. This guy played hurt, ran the ball hurt, threw the ball hurt, did whatever we asked. And his name's Jay Jones. Next is the Pat Trammell Award, and it's a captain award, and we all know what Pat Trammell's done for Scottsboro and how he played the game of football. Played it with all he had every game, and he represented Scottsboro like I was talking to Greg before the banquet. He represented Scottsboro the way that we want every player to represent Scottsboro, and that was play every game with everything you have, with energy, with effort, and even our 5 non-negotiables. And every year, everywhere I've been, I always let the guys vote on a captain award or on the captains that represent us at Bent Field every Friday night. And I think it's important because it's one of my favorite awards to give out. Because if your peers voted you captain, you probably made an impact on them, or you did a good job recruiting them to vote for you, one of the two. But in all seriousness, it's probably because guys look up to you and you have a role to play on this football team because they voted you captain. And so if you're voted captain by your peers, it should mean something. And this award, again, is one of my favorite ones. And these were the top 4 vote getters for this award. I'll normally only do 3. And when I get to that 4th one, I'm going to tell the story on how he got the 4th one. But I normally only do 3 awards for captain awards. You guys can stay up here as I call your name. First, J.C. Heikkinen. Next, Griffin Murdoch. Jake Jones. So I normally only give 3, and we started with 3. And it was one summer day in July, and we're out running. And I can't tell you exactly somebody showed up late, I believe, while we were running. And I can't tell you exactly what I said to the team about their choice on voting captains. We ain't gonna go through it all. But I wanted to get the point across to these guys on I can remove the captain title from you if need be. And there was a guy that, since I've been here, works hard. He ain't the only one. Does what he's supposed to do, and he represents us, and he does all the little things right. And he was the 4th vote getter. So I went ahead and made him captain right there in July on the football field. It was probably one of the best decisions I made all year because he definitely represents the Pat Trammell Award, and that was Trip Nelson. Almost there. All right, next I'm going to recognize our all-region guys. And listen, everybody I call up, just stay until I get done talking about you, okay? So I'm going to start with first team, second team, honorable mention, all the way through. I want everybody to get your award and stand there. And we can hold our applause until the end. The first guys that I'm going to call out were our first team, all-region, 5A, Region 8, first team. J.C. Heikkinen, Tegan Harris, Luke Calfee, Jaden Gilbert, Jacoby Edmondson, Trip Nelson, Griffin Murdoch, Lawson Lee. The next group of guys were our 5A Region 8 second team. Garrett Venable, Tyler Shelton, Cooper Harding, Lawson Talley, Connor Vaden, Cash Mateo, Cohen Thompson. Next group of young men is our 5A Region 8 honorable mention. Colin Rogers, Evan Patrisky, John Will Potterfield. How about John? Cole Reich, and we also was fortunate enough to have the 5A Region 8 offensive MVP. Shouldn't have been Cole. Should have been offensive MVP by himself. But he had a really good year for us, and that's Jay Jones. Y'all stay up here for a second. All right, before I let these guys sit down, this year was one of the probably one of the toughest 5A Region 8s there's been in a while. Everybody had really good talent offensively. Every Friday night there was athletes everywhere, and up front as well. So to be recognized, period, in whatever aspect it is in this region is an honor. And these guys definitely represented Scottsboro High School the right way. Super proud of them, and I think our 5A coaches did a really good job of getting an all-region team together, and I'm super proud of these guys. And this is your 5A Region 8 all-region team for us. Y'all good? Good. Good. Next, I'm going to talk about our all-state honorable mention guys. both had a really incredible year for us, and I look forward to what they're going to do for Scottsboro football in the future as well. Worked really hard this year, and both of them had injuries they had to play through. One's about to have surgery to get it fixed, but super proud of these two young men. Every year, I don't know if you know how All-State works in every sport. We have to send in our all-region or send in who we put up for All-State. So it works, and then they vote on it. The writers vote on it. So I send my stuff to Greg, and then he sends it on through, and then they'll have writers that vote on it. And I was able to submit some names this year, and I'm super excited that these two guys got selected. They're definitely deserving. Jacoby Emerson rushed 183 attempts and rushed for 1356, which is an impressive number. He had 19 rushing touchdowns. He also received for 103 yards on only 16 receptions. He also had one receiving touchdown. That's a really good year for Jacoby, considering he played 3 games with a hurt ankle. And I'm super proud of him. Also, Tegan Harris, he made it as an offensive lineman, All-State honorable mention, and he graded out this year with the end of the year, helping his numbers for sure, but he ended up over a 90% guy on the offensive line, and that's impressive. And now we're going to move him from tackle to guard or center in there so we can get him moved up to the next level. But he's definitely got a bright future as well. Super proud of you, good two guys. Come on up. All right, when I call your name, please come up. I'm going to call all the seniors up one last time. JoJo, JT, Jake, Shelton, Tripp, come on, JC, Patrisky, John Will, Griffin Murdoch, Luke Calfee, Lawson Talley, Holder Benson, Colton Ricard, Colin Rogers, Wynn Barkley, and Garrett Venable. Before we give them a round of applause, I always like ending the banquet with the seniors up here because it's special. Tonight marks the last time that as a group we'll meet and we'll congratulate and we'll talk about as a group what went on in the 2024 season. And it's always difficult, but what I do want these seniors to know is that it don't matter how many awards you got. None of that matters. You know, it's important. We want to win football games, but at the end of the day, you won't remember a lot of that. You definitely won't remember how many yards you had. You always add a little bit to it. You always add a few more touchdowns. But nobody's going to remember that as much, and you're definitely not, because when you think of football, when you get up or get older and you get a job and you meet with your guys and your best friends and you talk about the football, you're not talking about yourself. You're not talking about your stats. You're talking about what you went through and the experiences and the memories and the battles and the practices. You'll definitely talk about the practices in the summers more than you talk about the games. And it definitely teaches you a lot about life. So I never want to end a banquet giving guys awards, because at the end of the day, football's not about that. Football's not about individual awards. Football's the best team sport you can play. It's about getting a win. It's about fighting with each other. It's about learning how life's going to hit you in the mouth. And you have a choice. You can be soft and lay down, or you can get back up and keep fighting. That's your choices. And these guys started something special at Scottsboro High School. We was able to get the 10th Region Championship. And without these guys fighting every day and practicing every day, that don't happen. And they've started something we can't go back to back without winning one, right, Tripp? So I'm not going to cry and tear up on them, but I am super proud of them, and I love them, and I'm going to miss them. And hopefully they're like everybody else, and they call me and they check up on me, because if they hadn't learned anything from Coach Van, I definitely learned a lot just being around them for a year, and I wish I could have been around them for 4. So guys, remember this. No matter where you are, just remember what you've learned from this sport, and always remember your friends, because the guys you played football with are the guys that you're going to remember for the rest of your life. I love you guys, and I'm thankful for you. If you ever need me or any of these guys, you know you can call. Let's give this senior group one last round of applause. You have anything more to say? No. All right. Seniors, be sure you get your jerseys and your banners in the back before you leave. Again, thank you guys for everything you've done for our football program this year. Super thankful for these seniors and these players. Without further ado, you're dismissed. You can get pictures. Bo, you have anything you want to mention? No speech? Nothing? No speech? Coach Steve, you got a speech for us? I'm good. All right. Thank you guys. Appreciate you.